9 o'clock now.
No, we failed.
Oh,
All the orphans are now sad.
Guys, we've already lifted off. We're in space now. Well, you guys are. I don't know. I don't know where the hell I am. I seem to be in some kind of portal area.
You are. Anyway.
Because I don't need to go through space in order to go to different worlds. I just travel cross-dimensionally.
About right.
And
So has
flickering lights. Yes, the stream has started. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Exalted Scarf stream. This is Scarfy here. I happen to be in communication with a guy still going to Jupiter, Dave.
Yeah.
And the will of the people.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
To start off, it's the will of the people's mom's birthday. Wow, that's a mouthful, but it's his mom's birthday. Time to celebrate, everybody. Wish her a happy birthday.
Yeah.
Okay, now down to business.
Yep.
So, all right. Firstly, a moment of silence for someone of great importance has just passed away. TikTok will soon be no longer supported.
Yeah, basically, it's dead. It's gone. It's gonna go kaput. It'll be sent off to the great app Grave in the Sky, along with Flappy Bird.
Yeah, and it still has its supporters that are willing to go through the trouble of getting a VPN just to play on the damn thing and then get infected with spyware. Have fun, guys.
Yeah, but you gotta love China and how they're doing for the world.
Yep. Look, I don't use TikTok. I don't think any of us use TikTok. We have no skin in this game. We're just noting that it's dead and gone and will be thrown out like many other things.
I mean, but I thought they were trying to, have some kind of corporate deal where some American dude was going to buy it, and then, what happened with that?
Well, the deal is still going to go on. I mean, they're still working the kinks out on that deal. But if it doesn't work out, yeah, it's just no longer going to be downloadable or supported. So it's going to die a slow death, effectively, as you can no longer download updates for it if you already have it, and if you don't, well, you can't download it at all. I mean, guys, it's pretty much.
Okay, so
it's pretty much it's pretty much the CCP's answer to Vine, and I don't know if Vine lasted longer than it did. I think it lasted longer than Vine did. I mean, guys, you could get Snapchat. Just do that.
Or Twitter or Facebook. There's a lot of platforms that people like.
Oh, good God! Even Facebook's got that whole short video thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you're not missing out on much.
Yep. Well, other stuff, of course, has been going on in the world as well. But TikTok's dead. May it rest in peace, and let us move on to greener pastures, because I have went through all the stages of mourning already with it.
Yeah. Hopefully pastures that are not on fire.
Oh, actually, also speaking of which, today, as we record this, is Batman Day.
Good to know.
Yeah, so today is the day we celebrate our Lord and Savior of the DC Universe, Batman, who DC Comics will continue to suck the cock of into generations forward.
I thought the Lord and Savior of DC Comics was Superman. Because, he died and came back.
Tell that to DC marketing.
Fair enough.
Honestly, Superman is the character who made DC Comics, and they can't exactly get rid of them. But right now, executives at DC aren't exactly giving Superman the best attention, shall we say.
I mean, has Batman ever died?
Yes, but it didn't actually, to tell you the truth, when Batman died, it didn't cause as much of a stir as Superman dying. I will say that.
Yeah.
That's sad, Dave. That's very, very sad.
Well, I love me my Batman, but DC is so protective of the character, it's kind of insane. But I will say that I will do my best to actually be nice and recommend some Batman stories for people who might be listening. And, at the very least, let's be fair,
I just want to say, let's not go into the whole Bob Kane thing. That's for another episode entirely.
I'm not going to bring up Bob Kane. This is a day to celebrate Batman, not today to celebrate hacks. But Finger, rest in peace. I do recommend the Batman Brave and Bold episode Chill of the Night. One of the best Batman episodes of all time. So, check that one out. And I would also recommend... Yes?
Like, I've seen all of Batman animated series. I think Brave and the Bold is better, isn't it?
I like Brave and the Bold, but I think
the two series are just different. I mean, Batman the Animated Series is just darker. Batman the Brave and the Bold is more like the Adam West style Batman, where it's brighter and colorful.
I think both are good, just they do different things.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, so Chill of the Night, though, is one of the best Batman stories of all time, so I just say I'm recommending it. I also recommend, of course, Long Halloween and Dark Victory from Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. Anyway, I just want to make note of that because we are recording today, and it would behoove me as a comic book fan not to mention Batman Day.
Yeah.
It also would behoove you not to use big words.
Yes. I know. Anyway,
Actually, while we're
there's also
doing
one
that,
other DC Comics topic I do want to bring up. They're changing the DC Universe app. They're moving all the shows to HBO Max, so any show that was on DC Universe is now going to HBO Max. So Doom Patrol, Swamp Thing, Stargirl are going there. And Titans, I guess. Which is a show I forget exists. But they're going to change the app
Whatever.
Yes?
Sorry, whatever happened to Supergirl? Is that still a thing?
That's still a thing on CW. It's still going. It still has seasons. I think it just finished.
I tried watching that. I could not get through it. I'm sorry.
Man, I tried myself. It gets bad. I'm actually looking more forward to the Superman spinoff they're making. I can't believe I have to say that in this day and age.
Yep.
I'm like, man, I'm actually saying... I'm looking forward to the Superman spin-off of Supergirl. What is with my life? Okay. Moving on from that little bit, they're changing the DC Universe app into a comics reading app instead. They're going to put about 2,400 comics up there. I'm sure they're going to be missing some major stuff, but that's a lot of DC Comics.
Yeah, that is a lot.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's not all of them.
Well, there's probably rights issues with some comics more than others. Like, I doubt DC's able to reprint Atari Force, which is a real comic guy.
Wait, Atari like in the video game console?
Yes. They made a space opera based on Atari games in the 80s. It had 2 series.
Well, considering how many space games are on Atari, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding, which is one of the reasons I brought it up. I was like, look, I gotta bring up Atari Force, guys. I have to now. But, yeah, no.
Right, now you want me
to... DC Comics reading app. Try and find the major runs if you can. There's a lot of good ones in there, and they should. And, of course, on my Twitter feed, I will be recommending shit as usual.
Yep.
So...
Yeah, Atari Force really is a thing.
You doubt my... obscure DC licensed video game comics lore knowledge.
I just doubt that a video game console itself would actually be a freaking comic. Look, then again, we do live in the same universe as Cat Captain N, so...
Their costumes are so generic. I love it.
Yeah.
Maybe next week I should do a read-through of the Atari Force comics for our listeners.
Oh, boy.
I'll give the oral history of the Atari Force. The greatest Atari-based space opera comic of all time.
Oh my god, you should write a book called oh crap, what did you just say?
Atari, the greatest space opera, the best video game console based.
No. It's called The Oral History of Atari Force.
The oral history of the Atari Force will be the greatest podcasting episode of all time.
Yeah.
Moving on from those
Well,
shenanigans.
yeah. Meanwhile, I think John Boyega's life right now could be summed up in this short clip.
Yeah. So, to sum up what's been going on with John Boyega,
He
been
didn't
yellow washed.
effectively.
Wait, what's yellow washing?
It's when so blackwashing is when you turn a character black. Yellow washing is when you turn a character Asian.
Why would you do that?
To
you want
to sell a product over in China.
Yeah, so there was a commercial starring John Boyega, and they reshot the commercial with a Chinese actor instead of John Boyega.
Yeah, they basically took all his scenes out. It's an ad for a Joe Malone, which I think is a fragrance, but they've replaced all of John Boyega's scenes with a Chinese actor. It's shot for shot. They recreated all of his scenes with just a Chinese actor.
That really sucks.
Yeah, it's insane. It's like, holy crap. It's almost as if to sell something in China, you have to... It's almost as if China's kind of like, I guess, racially homogenized or something like that.
Well, dude,
they took away the diversity of that entire ad and replaced it all with
Dude, it goes worse than that, dude. Because John Boyega, in the American posters, in at least the first new Star Wars movie, Force Awakens, he was pretty prominent on the poster. But guess what?
In China, they took him out. I know that. He just can't catch a break.
Maybe China's not racist. Maybe they just really hate John Boyega specifically. Like, he pissed off the Chinese Communist Party, and now they're after him.
I mean, he's a good-looking guy. I don't get why you need to replace him with an Asian person. I feel like with today's editing technology, you could make a black person and just change it enough to make him look Asian without having to reshoot the entire thing. Am I wrong?
That also is horrifying in another way, Will.
I wish I had the clip of Chris Tucker saying, "Yeah, that's right, I'm Blackanese."
That is horrifying in another way of like that's a nice joke there, but we can't we're not going to start digitally altering people's race because oh my god, imagine actually living in the world where digital blackface or digital yellowface was accepted.
Just in an alternate timeline somewhere.
I thought it did every time you played online as a character who's a different race than you.
Well, like, imagine, like, taking footage you made and then digitally altering it to change the race of the person.
We might actually have that technology.
I don't know, like, in America that's shameful, but in other countries they might do it. I don't know.
Well,
look, man, I'm not denying other countries can't. I'm just saying it's kind of horrible.
No, it's not kind of horrible. It's really horrible.
Yeah,
Thank you for agreeing with me.
Kind of about it.
Deepfakes are a thing, guys.
But anyway, that's pretty much the John Boyega controversy in a nutshell there, but you know how this happens.
Alright, AJ, why doesn't China like black people?
This is gonna be a long rant by him, and I know him. I've accepted this.
The U.S. is not like other nations. I think we should all, like, kind of get that ingrained in our skulls, especially those who are, like, complaining about race issues on other countries. Especially, what is it, European ones and Eastern European ones?
Yeah, look. It's a whole thing, but, you know, countries... Look, America has always had a culture based around diversity in, like, its culture and history, at least in the 90s on. Well, at least because there's been a huge history, and not every country is as, like, puts its, like, you know, not every country does it, and a lot more places are more homogenized than not in some fashion. So it's a whole thing. Frankly, not every place is like America, and I don't know. If China likes Kobe Bryant, according to AJ Shim, then maybe it is just they hate John Boyega. Maybe John Boyega did really screw them over. Who knows? We'll never know, unless John Boyega suddenly.
Oh dear!
What?
I've been reading what AJ Shim is saying. It's like Chinese culture values education. Thus, educated people tend to stay indoors, therefore lighter skin. While people who had darker skin were farmers and labor workers who were considered of a low class. Oh dear. Oh my god. Oh.
There are multiple dimensions we are not equipped to examine here.
If we were demonetized, we would be, like, anti-monetized at this point.
So, guys,
I'd have to pay money to say this shit.
So I'm gonna just speak in Transformers metaphors right now. Maybe that will help.
Go ahead.
Well, it's clear that the Autobot Empire doesn't like the Decepticons for being mind workers and thus view them as a lower class.
Yeah.
You know.
Or cotton farm workers, to be more exact.
I don't know why, but that just reminds me of this ongoing joke I have with Dave in real life.
Yeah, it was just
the reason why Constructicons are evil is because the Japanese hate construction workers.
All right. I mean, granted, it is much more complicated than that in China. I mean, it's an abridged explanation. It's just it's like take it at face value. It's like, okay, the darker the skin, the more lower class they are. Therefore, they have to work in the fields. It's like, wait, what?
we're not really equipped, and I'm not a Chinese history expert or culture expert to really go in detail. So, as this goes on,
if we have to keep talking about China, we might have to bring AJ Shim on.
Possibly. But moving on from the China stuff and John Boyega stuff, I do have a weird story about what's been happening on something. And now I'm going to ask Mike to put up the picture of Borderlands and God of War.
Alright, they're two different pictures. I'm going to be alternating between the two.
That's fine.
You poor bastard.
Look, he's of a lower class. We have
God damn it.
So editors are just the lower class now?
Yes. They can't ever be seen on camera.
Just wait till I get my own spaceship.
Okay, so this is gonna be.
I'm gonna point out for the audience we're all going to hell.
Yes.
Just wanted to say that.
Speak for yourself. I've already fought my way out of hell multiple times.
We're already in hell, guys. Anyway, For this little bit here, we have some news of a person working on a project. Now, this is going to bring back memories of 4 years ago of a special event. We're not going to say the name of the event, but everybody will be able to click on, know what it is. GG, guys. Anyway, moving on. Anthony Birch has announced he's working on God of War.
Really?
On his Twitter.
Which God of War?
The new one, apparently. He just said he's writing for God of War, which hasn't been announced. So I think it might be a troll attempt, but I don't know.
I'm like, how many times can Kratos murder the Greek and Roman gods?
Well, Greek and Norse gods.
So are they just going to go through every pantheon of human religion and just kill those gods?
I can't wait for him to get the Christians.
I was about to say, yeah.
Oh, that would be an epic fight. Kratos versus Saint Michael.
I'd kind of be into that.
That would be pretty sweet.
That is pretty, but okay.
And put him up against Shiva once he gets to the Hindu gods.
So
with all their arms.
Birch, the guy who inspired the song "At Least You're Not Anthony Birch" is writing for a new game. And he called attention to himself on Twitter, and is now upset that he has drawn the GG crowd towards him, even though he's a well-known, not very...
Oh! That GG! I was like, what the hell are you talking about? But now okay. Wow, that's messed up.
Yeah, no, Anthony Birch is, he's kind of infamous for being a pathetic cuckboy.
I'm just like...
Oh, by the way, AJ, as a Christian, we don't have multiple gods. We just call them saints. There's only one true God.
Well, the reason why you have saints is so that way pagans would feel more comfortable in the religion.
Yeah, because they're trying to figure out how to get pagans to get into Christianity. They're like, if we come up with these saints, that's kind of like, a compromise between having multiple gods and one god.
Yeah. You see what we do for you pagan heathens? This is what we do for you pagan heathens.
My mother's pagan, good sir. She's a druid, so bite your tongue.
Look, man, I'm a Jewish heathen. I'm cool with what I am. I know I'm a heathen.
Yeah, that's true.
He's one of the old school monotheists.
Look, man, I'm reformed. No, I don't know. My dad has given... I'm part of, like, a weird modern term for... Look, I have the DNA test to prove my father is my father. So I count.
Yeah. Did you just keep that on your shelf somewhere? Like, what?
Actually, I want to see Kratos fighting Samson.
I had to get tested for surgery stuff at one point, blood stuff.
Okay, and they're like, yeah, guess what? Your father is actually your father.
Yeah, like, that just happens sometimes.
Did you scream out no really loudly?
No, because that would have been my father to kill me?
Yeah.
That would have been a great Darth Vader moment. Be like, your dad could have been like, I am your father, and you could have screamed out, no, it's impossible!
Yeah, but could you imagine when Kratos fights Samson, his finishing move would be to cut off Samson's hair? It'd be like... What other biblical figures could he end up fighting?
Well, anyway.
Or Odin, or... No,
those aren't biblical! Those are Norse.
Oh, biblical? I don't know. Jesus versus Kratos? Come on, man.
Only if it's the Jesus from South Park.
Yes, I agree with this, Scarfy. I agree with it most egregiously.
Yeah, there was like once he finally gets to the East, he ends up having to fight Buddha.
Well,
actually, believe it or not, Buddha was actually a very skinny dude. It's just as part of the religion they portray him as a fat guy, but he actually was probably as skinny as you, Scarfy.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I can't imagine a guy.
I
Doesn't he
read
go on
Osama.
Doesn't he go on hunger strikes or something?
Yeah,
I think so. What were you about to say, Dave?
I've read Osama Tezuka's Buddha manga, which actually does kind of portray him like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
It's just that being big and round like that promotes, like, wealth and happiness and that whole. It's why Santa Claus is fat, because, he's a jolly, jolly dude.
But yeah, we've gone off topic long enough.
Yeah, we have.
Let's go back to our GG friend making a new God of War game. And what does this have to do with Borderlands?
He was a writer for Borderlands.
All right.
Yeah, it was hinting at it.
So he's kind of hinting at making a new God of War.
He's writing on the new God of War, and he's kind of infamous for being a very meanie writer.
What do you mean by meanie writer?
Like, he inserts memes into his dialogue to be like,
okay.
Yeah. A meme writer, basically. It's like Deadpool, but look, there are some good Deadpool memes and some bad ones. The bad ones are like when it's just like overloaded and just like, I can't stand this. Like, I love Deadpool, but I hate how writers just basically feel like they have to make every page a fucking meme.
Well,
yeah.
A meme, I mean, writing a story that has a lot of memes in it only works if you didn't intend for it to be meme material. Like the Goofy movie.
Sometimes to me it's like this. I try to think of Deadpool as a comedy book, and I try to think of something funny, and I don't really hope I think the writers who treat it more as like a comedy where it's like some things are funny and maybe this will become like a meme, but they don't expect it to, works. Admittedly, I do love the panel where Deadpool punches Kitty Pryde out. I have my wants. But anyway, joking aside, on that one, Anthony Birch has come out, and this is probably the most attention he has gotten since his ex-wife left him.
Yeah.
And took his Wii U.
Well, get a new one.
He can't. He gets a Switch and his wife takes it. He can't get any more Nintendo consoles. He has to stay back a generation.
God damn it.
That is truly sad.
He is a sad, sad man who has occasionally made comments about being jealous of his sister's success, who has now become a voice actor, Ashley Birch. She's worked in a couple things, voiced a couple characters here and there. Like, she was the main character in Horizon Zero Dawn, a game I keep forgetting exists until I'm like, oh yeah! That game. Which, you're in the future, and you fight robot dinosaurs with bows and arrows. It's fun, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. You know, if Kratos ends up fighting Egyptian gods, he could ultimately fight Pepe the Frog as Kek.
So, I actually saw the fucking Pepe documentary. Feels good, man.
Yeah.
Why would you put yourself through that, David?
I'm going to tell you something.
Yeah.
It's a really good fucking movie.
Didn't we talk about this last time?
A little bit. But I talked about it. I think I talked about it. Maybe I gave it a recommendation, but since, I gave it a recommendation last week, maybe I can go in a bit more detail. So, Pepe the Frog is a chaos magic sigil.
Perfect for a Kratos villain.
Yes. Who has cost Hillary Clinton the election, according to the movie.
That's great. I love it.
Yes. So Pepe, not Bernie or anything else, cost Hillary the election?
I shake my head.
I wish that I shake my head, but that's what the movie proposes. Pepe's magic powers destroyed Hillary Clinton's chances at the election. He was the one who made her sick.
Damn.
I'm not kidding. I might show it sometime just to show that sequence because it is kind of amazing.
Yeah, now I gotta go watch that.
I would actually recommend it. It's one of the few documentaries I'm actually willing to watch again because most documentaries I feel are like one-time affairs.
Yeah.
You know, you get the info and then it's like, I never want to see this again. And I'll recommend it to other people, but this is one of those cases of the filmmaking is so good and the storytelling is so good. I'm like, I like this a lot. There's only like 5 other documentaries I can think of that are like that.
Yeah. Usually it's just one time.
Yeah. There's one I like called, I think it's called Carnival of Souls or Isle of Lost Souls, about the making of the Isle of Dr. Monroe movie.
Mm-hmm.
Which is insane. And if you're like, well, Dave, how is it witchcraft? Directors fired and hiding out on the island. Midgets. It's crazy, man. It's a freaking crazy film. Well, it's a freaking crazy story. I would recommend it if you guys have not checked it out. The documentary on the Isle of the Dr. Monroe Isle is just amazing. But anyway, Anthony Birch is kind of a special dude, and the guy's and I'm going to be honest, I do find him to be a terrible writer if looking at his work, because imagine just like the worst jokes and everything, and you can kind of just set it up. Like, he doesn't really provide, in my opinion, like stakes. He tends to write everything very weak and.
Well, if it's mostly meme material, it's probably gotta come off as "Hello, fellow kids."
To be fair, he was pretty much hired for thing. We apparently have lost will of the people, so we're just gonna have to go. We're just gonna have to go on without him, it seems. Which
Yeah,
sucks,
I don't think he'll be able to handle the next few topics we have.
That's fair.
Because we will have to go into the main topic sooner or later.
Yeah, I guess. But Anthony Birch, the cuck still is out there, and he's writing for God of War.
God help Kratos.
Yeah, according to him, I don't think he actually is. I think he's just doing this for bait and attention myself. But if he does, okay. Whatever. I'm just gonna focus on other things. But let's get into the main topic.
Alright, we'll start with, Beep Boop Bop. Where was it? A wild Gina Carano appears.
Yay. I'll let you take it from here.
I mean, originally I wasn't gonna cover this because I figured, okay, people harassing Gina Carano has kind of been sort of old news, but man, has she been fighting back. It's just one of those things where I think everyone's upset with her at first. I forgot all of the controversies, but the current one is the transphobia controversy, because apparently she wouldn't put her pronouns into her Twitter bio as if that was ever a requirement. And eventually she kind of did, and she put them as beep, boop, bop, or boop, bop, and beep.
Oh yeah, that was so dumb.
Oh dear. For those of you who don't understand, There is this meme going around that's really making fun of angry leftists in that they don't think for themselves. They're really just programmed to think. So they're kind of like robots. We call them NPCs. So that's generally what she just called them. NPCs or robots, just with the boop, bop, beep.
Beep boop.
So now there's a big Twitter meltdown over all of this.
Of course there's a Twitter meltdown. When is there never a Twitter meltdown?
Granted, right now Twitter's melting down over a different thing, but we're not covering that part. But yeah, well, the thing, she's most well known for her role as I think the character's called Cara Dune in The Mandalorian.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I heard about The Mandalorian's going through an interesting time.
Yeah, good luck to them, because that's like the one Star Wars that everyone likes right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, and there was also another Twitter controversy where apparently she was advocating for places to open up, like churches and everything, and then someone started harassing her over that one.
Fair. But no, like, I hate this. Honestly, Twitter... I didn't worry about my Twitter bio. I didn't put pronouns on mine because I really don't care that much. I didn't think about it, and personally, if you talk to me and you accidentally use she or he, I'm not really going to care. I'm a dude, and I usually am like, oh, he... That's me. I don't care, so I didn't put it in. And that's ultimately at the end of the day. I think she wanted, like... She's Gina Carano. She usually identifies as a female. Does she really need her pronouns in her bio? I feel like that's more important for people who want to establish themselves as something online. If you're already established, what does it matter? You know?
I think it's just an attempt to exert power over someone. Kind of like flexing your muscles to an MMA fighter of all things.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, crying out loud, guys. She's been in boxing matches where people beat each other to death. I don't think you can do much to intimidate her.
Yeah. Basically.
And I think she also posted that one picture of of the old World War II picture of like all those guys doing that whole Nazi salute, except for that one guy who's just standing there with his arms crossed.
Hey, that's fair. I think that says more about it.
I mean, she is not the person to roll with the crowd if she doesn't feel like it.
I think that's fair.
And that's the thing. It's like the constantly harassing her and beating her over the head over this kind of stuff isn't really doing your side any favors.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want trans representation, I mean, you gotta represent your. I would suggest you get new representatives or better representatives than this for the most part. Yeah, it's just not looking good. Or as the saying goes, like, not a good look. Not a good look.
It's not a good look for anybody. But I feel like we can talk about other things right now because this is just a whole.
It's a whole pile. I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, congratulations, Gina. You're actually holding your own, and she has not been canceled. This goes to show that cancel culture only works if you let it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I named this stream "The Revenge of the Cancelled."
Fair.
So let's go on to an even bigger cancel culture moment.
The J.K. Rowling stuff.
Oh yeah. Also, I kind of like this picture of Gina Carano.
She's cool.
I forgot she was in one of the red. What was that game? Strategy game called? It's like Red Alert games. Yeah. But yeah, moving on. J.K. Rowling released a new book. And oh boy, is she in trouble over that one. Yeah, you remember last time when I said like J.K. Rowling didn't need my help to be controversial? Didn't know I was this right.
Yeah, no, J.K. Rowling is now in full-on controversy, full turf mode.
Holy crap. Because apparently her book now includes a villain that hides from police by dressing as a woman and then doing serial killer duties. It's like being a serial killer, as if that hasn't been a thing in other media before.
Honestly, it's very common. In fact, it was a major.
Yeah, I mean that was this character in Full Metal Alchemist.
Basically. Like, this is actually not too uncommon as a theme. Like, you know.
Yeah, and who could forget what was it? Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. I am not going to play the song.
I actually saw this in a Batgirl comic a couple years ago too, where the whole idea was it was this dude who admired Batgirl and wanted to ruin her reputation by dressing up as her.
Yeah.
That caused a lot of issues too, but it's a very common trope, often used for shock value because, well, you know.
I mean, guys dressing up as women to do horrible things and get away with it is not a new thing, guys. We've seen it. Well, I think there was like there's a Resident Evil game where the main villain was dressing up as his sister.
Well, we're forgetting the most obvious one.
What?
Psycho.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Like, I'm not like twist for one of the greatest movies of all time. Spoilers.
Yeah.
But yeah, Psycho was famous for that. And it's been examined to death by a bunch of LGBT pundits over the years.
Yeah, I mean, it's not specifically a trans thing. It's not saying that trans people are psychotic.
Well, look, I'm going to be honest here. I can see where they're coming from it with J.K. Rowling. How close have you been paying attention to it?
So far, I know about the character. I also know that the character is repeatedly described as a cis male, so
okay.
That should have ended the trans argument right there.
Well, here's the thing. It's not the fact that she's writing the book, it's the fact that she's a TERF.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the problem comes in. Because if this was a mistake by a writer who didn't really think it through, and he or she wanted to just tell the story about a fucked up situation, that's one thing. But Rowling has been very upfront with her TERFist tendencies as a creator.
Well, she's a hardcore feminist. I mean, that's the thing. It's bound to go down that route eventually.
It's a possibility. Not all, like, I hate saying not all feminists here, but I have to say that because, look, it's a possibility for some of these people. The problem with this whole thing is basically because of some beliefs that Rowling has, and she keep in mind, she made the book under a pseudonym. Yeah, I don't know why I said it that way. Pseudonym. Yeah. I like pseudonyms. She wrote under a pseudonym where basically it was in reference to a guy who did conversion therapy.
Oh, well, that's news to me.
Yeah, no, that's a thing. That is a thing. So I don't like look, I don't like canceling people either, but I am going to say there is some evidence here that is kind of iffy. And in J.K. Rowling's case, she's been kind of on a turf crusade working against people like this, and she probably wrote this book to say fuck you to them, for better or worse.
I think she's at the point where she kind of has fuck you money.
Yeah.
She's had that for a while now. She's got, like, what,
Dude,
how many mansions?
Harry Potter's like one of the biggest selling franchises of all time.
So this is another case of, it's like, what can you guys possibly do to her?
Nobody really can at this point. Like, even if like you don't support her in America and England, the rest of the world still does. Like, Japan loves Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I know, right?
I mean,
So it's weird, but that's just the truth of it. So
yeah, and keep in mind, it's like a lot of these guys, they were kind of raised on Harry Potter, and this was J.K. Rowling's intention. She released those books specifically at times where the people reading it would grow up along with Harry Potter himself.
Yeah. Harry Potter is one of those franchises that, for better or worse, is kind of important in the greater culture now.
Yeah, and she's no stranger to controversy. I mean, the religious right were bashing Harry Potter as some kind of like pagan Wiccan thing.
What? Sorry, what?
Well, yeah.
What?
The religious...
Sorry.
Did you not hear that, or did you just not know that?
Sorry. Never mind. I almost fell for like a stupid trick, believe it or not.
But yeah, there was a time where Harry Potter was was bashed by the right for having like Wicca influences or influencing people towards Wicca. Which is also another thing that the woke crowd favor predominantly.
Yeah.
That's another one of those. Is like, yeah, what exactly are you gonna do to this person? I mean, this person practically made you guys.
True, but at this point, not much she can do. Here's the thing: she's going down the same path as another creator, which I kind of do want to talk about because he has a much more fascinating story as a creator. It's
oh dear,
Tatsuya Ishida, the creator of Sinfest.
Oh, here we go.
So Sinfest was a comic that was very dark and very perverse. I mean, it's called Sinfest, right?
Yeah.
Lots of sexy characters, lots of other stuff going on. Anyway, while he probably always trended liberal, he ended up going full-on woke liberal a couple years ago. A lot of it is assumed that he got a feminist girlfriend or a significant other and tried.
That's usually how it goes.
Yeah. Well, it's usually how it goes. And he wrote some really cringy feminist comics, like the ones you would often like make parodies of. Like he introduced this concept called the sisterhood, and they were fighting against the man, the patriarchy, and shit like that. You know? And here's what happened. Throughout the comic, you start to notice some things. Like, he apparently had issues with trans people, and, like, you know, he would start make fun of, like the Tumblr stereotype. And then he just went full-blown turf, and now seems to be weirdly swinging into a bunch of different directions, and it's going crazy. It is insane. For all I know, I can wake up tomorrow and the guy could make the most possible Republican comic there has ever been Republican. He will make Stone Toss go, man, that is so right wing. I don't know what to do with myself. I gotta go kill myself. Like, it's that crazy right now with his work. So, yeah, no, J.K. Rowling's on kind of like the similar path right now.
By the way, AJ, if there weren't people who are burning Harry Potter books who are not conservative, there probably is now.
Oh, I imagine, dude. There's always been people burning. For all I know, like, they might actually start promoting the Harry Potter books as a right-wing thing, because here's the thing, despite the witchcraft, they do celebrate Christmas in the books.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's actually enough there.
It's probably Yuletide or something.
No, they literally say Christmas.
Oh, alright.
Mike, I read the books. Like, I was a huge fan. I don't show my Harry Potter power level often, but when I do, I'm like, I know what this was like.
Yeah, I never quite got into them.
I understand, man, but it wasn't like a something. No, like the characters actually celebrate.
By the way, I wouldn't really imagine Sinfis being right wing.
Like, as weird as it sounds, like the characters in the books actually celebrate the holidays, like the regular holidays.
Yeah, I thought that was just something that they did for the movie.
No, that's not a movie thing. That was in the books.
All right.
You have to kind of also understand the movies. While there were some changes, they had to remain especially faithful because they actually realized the fan base really wanted faithful adaptations of the books. And if they didn't do it, they were going to get crucified for it. So while it's not always, they had to cut out a lot of stuff here and there, like some of the ghosts and shit. Like, there's a character called Peeves who is a consistent thing in the book, but he is completely cut out of the movie. But that's just, like, one character there. I'm just saying, dude, like, the J.K. Rowling stuff is much more complex, and it boils down to it's fucked no matter what side you're on this case. On the one hand, you probably have your Harry Potter books. I recommend keeping them and enjoying them. You have good memories of them. Just don't support her new work if you don't like it. You know? If you don't like her or don't support her, then you have that option as a person. I got out of the Harry Potter books at book 7, so I'm not really invested in the franchise in any way, shape, or form at this point.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen the new movies. So, you know, it is what it is. But with that being said,
yeah, not to mention, wasn't the Sinfis guy that also made like the whole angel hunting thing?
Probably.
That was my favorite jokes from the comic.
That's fair. He did a lot of stupid shit during his time writing. But with that being said, I think we should end it here. I have to go take care of something.
All right. I mean, to everyone upset about the whole like J.K. Rowling turf thing, I mean, well, welcome to my world. I'm a black guy who loves H.P. Lovecraft stuff. So it was kind of awkward reading that one book with that one cat that was very awkwardly named.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm like, okay.
Look, it was named by his father, not him.
Yeah.
So, but we will move on from this, and we shall go into the abyss. So, with that, we leave you all a good night.
Yeah, good night. Have fun.
We're signing out.
And let's sign off from here. And that ends the stream.
That's fair.